Hello and welcome back to Good Morning KSA. We're still coming to you live from the capital city of Saudi Arabia, and as we gave you a brief idea of what we'll be talking about today, we'll be looking at scientific research and more importantly about the Arab countries. We have a very special guest joining us once again here in Good Morning KSA. We'd like to say good morning to Dr. Nasser Aloud, who's a professor in social science at the Imam University. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here and in this what I call hot topics in Arab country and mainly in Saudi Arabia, where nowadays everybody talk about research and academic research and research centers and excellence research center, whatever it comes to.
But sir, very important, very quickly, could you give us an idea of how important is scientific research?
Well, I'm not, the right person to talk about this because we are talking from
like
the soft science.
Yeah,
there's hard science, there is soft science. Soft science is social and humanity. Hard science is the physics and the math and other engineering stuff. So, but research has been the most significant component of to show the country is going in the right directions. So, United Nations. Rate those countries that has scientific programs and projects to be the top countries, although they are developing country or developed countries. So research is very important, and it's research all the time attached to university, but this is not the fact, because most of the research done in the hospitals, in the field, in the farms, so it should not be attached to the university. So in the world, we know the developing countries, those kind of called first world, and we call second world and third world. First world is all the time recognized by the money and the research. So whenever you have a wealth for those individuals as far as health and education, and plus the research centers that they develop. And just to mention that Nobel Prize is the prize that's give to people who has significantly invest in himself and his countries. So, but research, it's not only called research, but how much you give money for research. In developed country, we know that's like around 3 to 5% of their annual income goes to the research. In Arab country, unfortunately, the figure could not be seen. It could not be even told. But alhamdulillah, in recent years, we have seen increased interest in the government, mainly the Arab countries, and mainly in Saudi Arabia, where King Abdullah has, give all the money for those kind of university and research centers. Alhamdulillah, we are moving in the right direction now, after being, years away from research.
Slowly but gradually, I'm sure we'll be there sooner than later.
Indeed. Now, of course, Dr. Nasser, I mean, what you said, I totally agree with it, that let's say in the second world country of research, because here you get to see in Saudi Arabia that in the past 10 years, the research era is really moving on at a fast pace, especially last year. I would like to mention again that marked the opening of King Abdullah's University for Technology. We get to see such major improvements here. And of course, King Abdullah's University is one of the major centers of excellence in the world as well. And it has been very, very highly rated. So how is the impact of all this scientific research on the community, on the people? How is it that people are receiving it, and how is it that they're supposed to receive it? Like how optimistic they should be?
Sure. Good question, but it's what I call 64,000 question. One thing that I want to emphasize here is the importance of the changing the belief of the hierarchy individuals. In Saudi Arabia, as a researchers, of course, every professor in the university attached to research. Without research, you either publish or die, they call it, in the academic environment. If you publish, you're a professor. If you didn't publish, you're like a student. You're not teacher. Or you're not professors. So we love research. But in the past, let's just say 5 years ago, we didn't have those kind of funds that we could apply for in order to do research. Research is not only hard science, although hard science has developed all the equipment you're seeing now, even the broadcast that you're doing now. So, but moving to the social or hard science, whatever, it's changing the belief system. Alhamdulillah, when King Abdullah and the kings before, King Fahd and King Khalid, has believe in those kind of research, but unfortunately we didn't have those kind of centers and the professors and the individuals. But in the past 20 years, university has sent many scholars and students to overseas, like United States, Europe, Asia, whatever country is, and they come with the idea that they believe to change their systems and to change the belief about research. In fact, in the past, in the Ministry of Economy, don't give that much money to research. Now, just to give an example, as used to be the Associate Dean of Academic Research in the Imam University, we used to have only around 3 million for research. Only around 20 to 25% goes to the research. The rest of the money goes back to the Ministry of the Ministry of Finance. Last year, we had funded around 96 projects, and this year around 64 projects. Each professor has a project like running from 20,000 to 200,000, which is good for us as the researchers, as social science research, to go to the community, collect our data, analyze it, and have assistant professor to help us have students to be employed in those kind of research centers. And as a result, alhamdulillah, we got 96 projects. Around 25 of them goes to the social aspect. We have surveyed the employment, women's status, kind of attitude toward medicine, violence, girls escape from their houses, those kind of problems that we're facing in our community, and we need to have an answer and have a numbers to give it to the Ministry of Education, Social Welfare, to make a decision toward those problems. Without research, you have what they call unknown.
Exactly.
And those kind of philosophical Descartes, all the stuff. If you don't know it, you can't make a decision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's our job to make those kind of assessment, and the decision has to be made by those ministry and officials. But social science has been important and will be important in the past 10 years, in the future, in the next 10 years, because we have kind of those kind of device that change the life of our population. You have a mobile phone, you have problems in mental health, you have all the stuff. So how do you face them with the what we call soft research? And also hard research has to be important and will be important, but I'm talking for social science because this is my field and this is what I believe in. In social work, we have done a lot of research, and I'm currently doing a research trying to find the outcomes of using technology in teaching social work. So when I show them the video, how does it make difference in their education? Has this research been succeed? I will take these ideas to the university so that they apply what I call video conference, video programs, video clips to teach students instead of teaching by the traditional way. This is just an example of how important and how the community will take part of it.
Absolutely. Indeed.
Absolutely, of course. Sir, if you can just state of how scientific researchers can help develop a country. More importantly, sir, I'm going to ask you the same question which I had ready for Dr. Khalid. What are some important factors that can lead to the improvement of a scientific research department?
Well, I think there is 3 components that's all the time attached to how do you make the quality assurance and what they call it academic research. So one of the most important things is the individual himself.
Okay.
So you can't make research without knowing. We all know Newton used to be, you go to the park and he has see the apples and he make this theory. No, Newton was educated and he know things, and he has a question and he got the experimental field, and he do it again, and he comes up with his theory.
Exactly.
So without the human, and the human has also other components. They should have the interest, they should have the qualification, they should have the belief, they should have the parents. We should come to this important subject. It's how do you make scientific professionals in our countries.
Absolutely.
And the second one is the facility. So in hard science, they can't work in the field. In social science, it's okay. I go to observe people and just make my note,
True.
do an instrument, collect data, analyze it with small computer, and that's it. But in the hard science, you have to, you know, you have to go to the
Equipment,
human.
gadgets.